one of the best source materials to really research global government, the New World Order, their master plan, eugenics, this information. And, Tom, if you're looking just for some concise information, if you're not like myself, a filmmaker out there that's hitting all the mainstream spots, hitting up the Vanderbilt Television Archive, cspan.org, and the likes, I would have to say that the films that we've produced here at Infowars.com, such as Endgame, Endgame really goes into the New World Order master plan. The reason I'm doing this Invisible Empire film is because I think people not only need to know the organizations, but that this is their term. And in the first 30 minutes, there must be 40 or 50 separate New World Order quotes by prominent people. So I'm hoping that this next film, Invisible Empire, is a huge tool to expose the globalists and their plan. However, right now, if you're looking for some good stuff that's available, I would say, again, Endgame. If you want to learn how an international intelligence organization carried out 9/11 and the different aspects of that, I think that's very important to understanding the globalist plot. Fabled Enemies is the way to go on that. And two other films that I think put it all together are Aaron Russo's America, Freedom to Fascism and the Financial Control, and then a very old film called The Capitalist Conspiracy, which is really more like a slideshow that you would have watched in high school during the 80s, produced in the 70s by a man named G. Edward Griffin, who wrote The Creature from Jekyll Island. And G. Edward Griffin, of course, is heavily featured in my new film, Invisible Empire. So right off the bat, I would say that those four films probably take you somewhere in the range of 6 to 8 hours to watch all that stuff. I don't know how long to soak it all in, but obviously a lot of information there. I recommend those ones. Anything else, Tom?
Well, yeah, I wanted to ask you, because I hear Alex all the time, are you just on Sundays?
I am just on Sundays. I used to do a weekly show, 9 to midnight. You can get the archives there. I did that for about 6 months, but then when I really started gearing into this film, I can't tell you how hard it is to produce a 90 to 120-minute documentary. It is overwhelming. The people that do this over at something like an IFC or over at AMC or CBS or the History Channel, they have vast more resources than a Jason Bermas. Up until about a week ago, it was me, my graphics guy, and a movie. And now I was able to get 2 more people in the office to work on the film and to try to get it along and get it out to the people on March 15th, 2010. But it is quite difficult. So, look, man, just go check out as much source material as you can. I mean, YouTube is a great tool. If you type in the term New World Order, you can watch or you can hear the audio of, say, Richard Nixon back in the 70s talking about it in China and so much more. Be your own detective. Be your own researcher. Don't take anybody's word for anything. Go into it yourself. And, I love it when people try to prove me wrong, because 9 times out of 10, they come out going, wow, you were 110% right. And that 1 time out of 10, I'm usually not wrong. They just have a different interpretation of it. I thank you for the call, Tom. Let's go to Jerry in California. Jerry, you're on the line.
Yeah, man. Hey, I got 2 points to bring up, and one of them I was there personally.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, swine flu.
Mm-hmm.
In 1976, I was stationed at Yokosuka, Japan, and they told me I had to get a flu shot. I told them 3 times. But the Marines, I was Navy, the Marines had to get it on a lawful order.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 2 weeks later, they came.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, I missed the last part. You faded out there. Now, 2 weeks later, you said what happened?
2 weeks later, they stopped all shots in the military because they were killing people across the planet.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, and that came out in 1976. It was almost the same exact script. The only difference was that it was legitimately H1N1. It was swine flu. It wasn't this combinant of 3 separate types of flu. And we have that 60 Minutes piece where this woman was literally crippled, and we know that thousands of people also died from the shot. It's been declassified. Hell, Dr. Oz, the big Oprah star and a guy who has his own television show now, actually went out there and on CNN and said, well, I'm Dr. Oz here, but I'm Mr. Oz at home, so the wife and I have decided that our 4 children won't be inoculated. And he even talked about Guillain-Barré in the 70s. What's your second point, Jerry?
Okay, about 1972, that's close enough. I was stationed on the USS Pyro, and I used to get bread supplies. We were at Port Chicago, And I was talking to the driver, and he was talking about how they radiate bacon. So that ties into your other point.
Well, even back in the 70s and even late 60s, Frankenfood was in its beginnings. Companies like Monsanto said, hey, we have a better way. We'll just radiate everything, and the people will clamor for it. We're going to continue with your calls on the other side. It's the InfoWarrior with Jason Bermas. It's December 20th. Happy holidays, y'all. We'll be back after this.